Hello adult beginners! Welcome back to my channel. This video is a follow-up to my last video where I taught you how to set your left hand and arm on the fingerboard of the cello as your foundational clean, your foundational setup. This video is a follow-up to that video, giving you some red flags to watch out for to make sure that you cement this foundation in correctly, which means with balance, with no tension, and in a way that's going to help you play in tune and with a resonant sound. Let's get started. The first red flag I want you to watch out for, and I literally mean watch, I want you to set yourself up in front of a mirror and check for this when you are practicing, is what I call the guitar hand. And what creates the guitar hand is usually a squeezing first finger and thumb. That means when you're squeezing right here, your other fingers have to stretch independently to try to reach the notes. We don't want that on the cello. On the cello, the arm gets the hand and the fingers where they need to go. That keeps you relaxed, balanced, and helps get the string down into the fingerboard in a relaxed way to create a resonant sound, a ringing sound. If you're squeezing, pinching the string with your thumb in one, all of a sudden, there is no way for your arm to balance because you can't move. So that is a red flag I want you to watch out for. If you're seeing this weird angle on your fingers versus more of a bridge tunnel shape, red flag, rewind, and go back to the basics of setting your foundation where you set the top pads of your fingers in between this D and G string, and then with your arm, roll the string down. Feel how different that is from a pinch. The other component of this that is a red flag is that your thumb should not be associated with your first finger. It should be associated with your second finger. Not to say it's squeezing behind your second finger, it's hovering behind your second finger. And that is because it's just the most natural way that your hand naturally wants to go. So if you keep your thumb behind that second finger, it's going to be easy to move up and down. The second red flag I want you to watch out for, your arm and shoulder are staying in the same place no matter what note you play. So there's a misconception in learning cello that your arm and shoulder need to be up like this in order to be in the correct cello posture. That's not the correct way to think about this. What you want is an arm that's hanging off the fingerboard, okay? So I think people say keep your arm up in an effort to avoid this squeezing. But really how I want you to think about it is if you pull on that inside of the string and balance and kind of hang off the fingerboard like you're hanging on the edge of a cliff, that just puts your arm at a really natural space, but you don't have this held arm and shoulder tension. That's going to lead to discomfort the moment you have to play a song that's longer than 30 seconds, right? We can't sustain that. It's going to lead to tension that's going to creep all the way down. And so if you find yourself practicing cello and that shoulder or that arm are starting to feel tired or tense, I want you to test yourself here. What happens if you just let it hang off the fingerboard? So I want you to test that for yourself. Because a rigid shoulder and arm stuck in one position, one, can't move very well, and two, is simply not comfortable and therefore not sustainable. Okay, now let's talk about sound. The third red flag you're going to look out for when you're practicing is a non-resonant sound. So let's test this with pizzicato and then we'll test this with the bow. So let's use fourth finger on the D string, for example. If you are playing this note, and you're pizzicatoing it, and you're continuously getting this type of sound, a thud, that's a red flag, that something isn't right. I always tell my students that your sound guides your technique. Tune into how your cello is sounding. If it is resonant and ringing, odds are things are going pretty well. If it is dull and making a thud and not resonant, red flag. So, that type of thud tells me that you aren't establishing that hole on the inside of the string and that you aren't letting your arm weight roll the string down into the fingerboard. If all those things are happening with that loose thumb behind, you should get a sound that carries. See how my sound is continuing long after I pluck it. So that's how you test if your cello setup is working, is if you can get that ringing sound with a pizzicato. And you can try this on each finger, balancing that arm each time you shift notes. Right? So for each note you're playing, you need to feel your arm weight balanced over that part of the hand. Just like when you're walking down the street, when you change feet, you don't keep your body balance back, you shift your body over the next foot. Same with your arm and your hand. If you're changing notes, you don't keep your arm balanced to your pinky side of your hand, you shift your arm over your first finger. That's how you get comfortable. So you're going to test out each of the notes in first position to see if they are ringing and resonant. And if you're getting this thud, red flag. Okay, let's test this out on the bow. I'm going to show you an example of what to look for when you're practicing. You want the note to continue ringing out, to continue singing after you pause your bow on the string, just like this. Do you hear that sort of after ring that happens after I pause the bow? So that's a good sign, that's a green flag. Now I'm going to put on the guitar hand, bad, and show you what it sounds like, trying to play the same note. Do you see how the note is less resonant and more dull? That is because your arm weight isn't balanced over that note, and therefore the string isn't coming down into the fingerboard. So that is a good way to test your left hand setup with pizzicato and with the bow. So those are 3 red flags I want you to watch out for as you are practicing this left hand arm setup. If you want more detail, download my blueprint for the adult beginner. It'll be linked to this video. And please let me know if this video was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you get notified when a new video comes out. Okay, happy learning, happy practicing. I'll see you all soon.